beautiful being. Thank you so much for hitting play and joining me in my Womb Alchemy world. Welcome to episode 5 of the Womb Alchemy podcast. Today, we are going to dive deep into the topic of the death and rebirth portal of the womb. I'm personally coming out of my own 9-month death portal. I'm on the other side. There were times I didn't think I'd make it, but here I am. And through that 9-month death portal that I have just moved through, I feel like I've gained so much wisdom, so many tools and so many techniques. And I'm really excited to share this topic with you here today because there's really so much I learned. And a lot of what I've learned has made me so much more resilient and ready to meet life's challenges. And a lot of what I've learned is also implemented in the work that I offer. And I have clients moving through some one-on-one work with me where I'm guiding them through their own death portal. Because what I teach is really based on life experiences that I have had. And I live my life with a lot of intention. I live my life as a ceremony, meaning that I'm really mindful and present with what is unfolding in my life so that I can really extract the wisdom and the lessons, integrate them into my body to help me come into greater alignment of human mind and divine mind, and then also to create it into content that I can share with my tribe, with you. So everything that I'm sharing is really from my heart, from my womb, from my life experiences, and from my own unique perspective. So, to first get clear on this death and rebirth energy, I really want to bring in the truth that we are cyclical beings. We have been programmed to be very linear, but we are actually very cyclical. We are tuned to the cycles of nature, to the shifting of the seasons, to the shifting of the day, right? From sun to moon, light to dark. We are cyclical beings. Our body, even the way that our cells are rejuvenating themselves, it is on a cycle. So we as cyclical beings are attuned to the cycles of death and rebirth. We are not just born once, nor do we just die once. We are actually being reborn and dying metaphorically again and again and again. And we can go through bigger deaths and bigger rebirths when we are moving through really big initiations, which are started with big life changes. And so the life and the rebirth and death portal that I'm talking about here is very much reflective of the womb's cycles. And I'm not just talking about the womb through the feminine lens. I'm talking about the womb as an energy, right? The energetic center of your womb, and how the cycle of the womb, even in the way that a womb sheds, right? Just as the moon is waxing and waning, there is this releasing of layers and a rebuilding of layers, right? And this is also reflective of our identity and how we are going through these identity shifts of releasing old versions of ourselves and expanding, growing into new, updated versions of ourselves, the selves that we are becoming. And when we live life with intention and with ritual, these transitions become a lot easier because we actually have the tools to be present with what is happening and to intentionally choose how we want to take charge and direct our life. And which direction do you want to go, right? Long gone are the days of just being a victim of life and just existing day in and day out. No, it is your responsibility to intentionally direct and navigate your life, to move in a direction that inspires you, that turns you on, that makes you excited to be alive. Otherwise, what's the fucking point, right? So this is really to almost give us a bit of a wake-up call. That's what the death portal is. It is a wake-up call of the universe being like, yo, things aren't working the way they're going. It's time to shake things up. So I'm seeing this 9-month death portal as 9 months because 9 months is the time period that it takes for a child to be born, from conception till birth, right? This 9-month period of time of being incubated, gestated within the womb, gathering energy to actually be able to sustain your own life outside of the womb, out in the big, great world. And that's what the death and rebirth portal of the womb invites us into. It invites us into a new life, a new us, a new level of sovereignty, a new level of presence. And it is one massive fucking initiation. And what it really is it's a sacred falling away. It is a sacred falling away of all of the things that are not in alignment with you and your highest timeline, that are not in alignment with you and your heart womb's desires. So though it can be really challenging and hard to move through a death portal, it is also a major opportunity to recreate yourself, to recreate your life, and to really hone in on what you want and build that desire-filled life step by step by step. So this 9-month journey of the death portal, it is often initiated by a major life-changing event. This can look like a breakup, or becoming a mother, losing a parent, losing a job, moving. There's a lot of different major life-changing events that happen, and they can really make us feel like we're dying. That's what the death portal kind of feels like when you're in it. Very much so feels like when you're in it, actually, is this death of self, and can feel really isolating and really disorienting, because as you enter this death portal, a lot of what you once knew and what once was familiar and comfortable starts to fall away. And that can feel really scary, because the mind and the ego don't really have much to grip onto to feel comfortable, right? So there is this complete newness, but before the newness comes in, all of the old has to fall away. And we have to be willing to loosen our grip on the things that we might be really clinging onto out of fear. And loosening the grip allows for it to fall away and creates more space for the new energy to come into your life. A really important aspect of the death and rebirth portal is the element of identity shift. Your identity goes through a major shift within these 9 months. The way that you perceive yourself in your life is completely changing, because the things around you in your life are also drastically changing. This is such an important piece here, because the way that you perceive yourself determines what you are capable of creating. And if you are perceiving yourself through a lens of limitation and lack and fear, then you are not going to be able to create and manifest the vast, abundant life that you are desiring, because there's a major part of you that is in misalignment and isn't able to be a vibrational match for your desires. We get stuck in old perceptions of ourselves that are often connected to inner child wounds. And there is a part of us that, is growing up and maturing as our body is. However, there's an internal part of us that is a big part of our subconscious and our mind that is connected to our wounded inner child, that might be seeing ourselves as insufficient, as not good enough, as unworthy. All of these wounds can impact the way that we perceive ourselves, and the way that we perceive ourselves directly impacts what we are capable of creating. So if you don't see yourself as somebody who's capable of creating $100K a year running their own business, then you will not be able to do this no matter how many money manifestation rituals you do, because there's a part of you that is not in sync energetically with this vision. And that part of you that's not in sync with this vision, it becomes a block, an energetic block in your magnetism. And your womb is that magnet. So all of these pieces, they come together in your magnetism, in the way that you perceive yourself, and the way that you perceive yourself determines what you're capable of creating. I'm repeating that intentionally because it's so important to understand. So in this death portal, the sacred falling away is actually an invitation for you to really zoom in on the way that you see yourself. What stories are you telling yourself about what you are or are not capable of creating? What energy of codependency is present in your life, perhaps on the people that you're having relationships with? Are they holding you back? Are you playing small out of fear of going all in? Are you afraid of failure? Is perfectionism holding you back? Right? There's so many different patterns that we have that are rooted in lack and fear because we're programmed to be that way by this fear-based society. And it really keeps us playing small, and it keeps our power in this little box that we just push away and try not to look at. But the death portal, it brings everything up to the forefront, and it says, look, you have nowhere else to look but inward. What is inside? What are you going to do with this energy? How are you going to move forward? So this death portal, I was personally initiated into it back in February 5th of 2022. And I was in Guatemala at the time. I was planning a retreat that just happened in November. And when I was there, I had just worked with Kambo, which is toad medicine, and it helps your body and your nervous system detox trauma and stuck emotions. And I had experienced it the day before on the 4th, working with an indigenous woman of the Tzutuhil tribe in San Marcos, Guatemala, and working with Kambo, and then receiving a womb massage in this tiny hut that was just me butt naked on a massage table with this tiny, gorgeous indigenous woman working on me, helping me purge the root of my womb trauma. And it was a really, really life-changing day. And the next day following, on the 5th, all within a day, it was, a recovery from Kambo and the complete release of the root of my sexual trauma. It was the 5-year anniversary of my sexual abuse experience, and it just so happened to be the day that my 5-year relationship, really 14-year relationship, ended. So it was a really intense day, and I felt almost disassociative because of how intense this major sudden life change was. I felt almost like I couldn't ground down because everything underneath me was shaking. It was as if there was this internal earthquake happening, and realizing, wow, okay, I'm coming home to a breakup. I'm coming home to having to move out of my apartment and find a new place to live. I'm coming home to having to find a new place to run my business. And though there was so much love and just pure love, really, in the presence of this breakup with my ex, it was still a major life change because he had been in my life for 14 years, and I was 28 at that point, so that was half my life. So there was so much comfort in this relationship, so much familiarity, and the ending of this relationship, it really shook up my foundation of safety out of what was familiar to my mind and my ego. But there was a part of me that knew that it was time for this change to happen in my life. And I was terrified. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know how to not exist in this relationship because a part of me had become really codependent on this person. And, this really reflected a sacred falling away and a realignment. And from February 5th to November 5th, which was exactly 9 months later, I had experienced a roller coaster of emotions. There were days where I couldn't get out of bed. There were days where I was having panic attacks on the floor of my apartment, not knowing, feeling like I was going to die, feeling like I was straight up dying. There were days where the emotions that I was feeling were so intense that I just would come to a point of like, I can't do this. This is too fucking much. I can't do this. And at the same time, there were so many moments of feeling my heart opening and expanding in a way that I've never felt before. Miracles were happening in my life. New friendships, manifesting the apartment of my dreams, getting to host my first international women's retreat, getting to host women's circles in my womb temple home, manifesting a trip to Hawaii. Like, I felt like I was so magnetic, and I was truly a magnet for miracles. So the death portal, it really catapults you into an experience of moving through the entire spectrum of darkness and light, experiencing the darkest, deepest, heaviest emotions, and also experiencing the most expansive, life-affirming, loving emotions, and really kind of bouncing back and forth along this spectrum as your body is processing the crumbling away of an old reality as you are slowly but surely building a new one. And it really puts you into, like I said, this identity shift. There were so many labels that I had identified with, and so many external aspects of my reality that I became attached to, that as all of these things began to fall away because my life was drastically changing, there were times where I was like, who am I? I mean, I know who I am. I've done my healing. I've done my soul searching. I know who I am, but like, who am I? So it really is this time of redefining yourself. When we move through this time of redefinition with intention, with seeking out the support that we need in order to navigate this time, with reaching out to friends to receive help so that we don't feel so alone through the death portal. You know, there's so many ways that we can show up for ourselves, and this is such a crucial time to really amplify your self-care and your self-love, and really, really incorporating support into your life so that this major life change doesn't throw you into a dark pit that you cannot get out of, because it can. And that's actually a big part of the initiation, is trusting the process, is trusting that even when it feels like everything is going to shit and your life is falling apart, that it's actually all falling into place. It's falling apart because it needs to fall into place. It's breaking down so that you can have a breakthrough. Things need to break down in order for you to have a breakthrough. Otherwise, we're stuck. And we might be more stuck than we realize. And so, to give you a bit more of a concept of understanding this spectrum of death and rebirth, and how it really is a prime opportunity for the expansion and evolution of your soul, right? There's an acceleration here where your soul is being invited into an accelerated pace of growth. This acceleration helps you align with your higher timeline more quickly. It helps you release more rapidly, but this also means that the intensity is turned up. So it really takes a lot of grounding down, tools, practices in order to feel really present and centered during this process of your rebirth. Because baby, what's waiting for you on the other side of that death and rebirth portal is prime. It is gold. It is your heart womb's desires. But in order to merge with that timeline, you have to surrender to the death. You have to be willing to release all that you are not, so as to come into all that you are meant to be, right? So this spectrum of light and dark is really how we gauge this death and rebirth portal. So there's two different metaphors I want to bring in here to help you conceptualize this process, this experience. So the first one is, they're both infinity symbols, but they work differently with our body and with our timeline. So let's bring in the infinity symbol and see it as a horizontal shape. So your heart is the center point of the infinity symbol. And there's a loop that extends in front of your body and a loop that extends to the back of your body. Again, your heart is at the center. So the loop that extends to the back is this energetic cycle, these strings, these cords that are pulling you to the past. They are consisted of cords connected to past lovers, past relationships, any aspect of your life that is in the past that the death portal is propelling you out of, is a part of this infinity symbol that is pulling you towards the back, right? So if we have a strong magnetic pull towards our past and we're having a hard time letting go of the things from our past, then physically we're going to be pulled back, right? We're going to be pulled back, and it's going to be harder to move forward in life. And so that infinity symbol half that extends from the heart out in front of your body, this is your magnetic pull towards your future, towards your desires, towards your vision for yourself. And if your pull towards the past is stronger than towards your future, right? That infinity loop towards the back is pulling you back more than the infinity loop towards the front. Then, like I said, it's going to be hard to move forward. You're going to feel stuck in the past. Your mind, your emotions, you're going to have a harder time transmuting them and healing them because there is such a grip on the past. And that could be coming from a space of not trusting where you're going, of not trusting the future, of being afraid of the future, which are all natural human experiences, but not when they're debilitating. Right? Not when they're actually preventing you from moving forward in your life, because that's all we can do is continue moving forward. So we want to make sure that the energetic pull to our past is being cleared. And that's why this death portal is such a powerful time to be really clear on what are the cords to the past? What is pulling you back? How can you begin to cut those cords and free up your energy so that you can redirect your energy and focus towards the future of where you want to go? And a big part of healing your attachment to the past is practices and tools of emotional processing, of therapy, of ritual and ceremony, so that you can intentionally transmute this energy so that it doesn't get trapped in your body, right? So this is this shift of releasing our attachment to the past and allowing for ourselves to begin to trust the unknown. That's really what the death portal is it's an opportunity for you to begin to change your relationship with the unknown. The ego and the mind, they don't like the unknown. They can't measure the unknown. They can't predict the unknown. So there's a lot of fear. And that's why people like living in guarantee. They like to have their guaranteed income, their guaranteed X, Y, and Z, A, B, C steps of their life that society has put out for them so that everything is guaranteed and there are no unknowns. However, the unknown is actually the cosmic womb. It is the center of our universe, this dark void where everything is created. It is the realm of miracles. You can't plan a miracle. If you're living in the realm of guarantee, then you are not existing in the realm of miracles because you cannot plan miracles. They exist in the unknown. If you're rejecting the unknown, then you are rejecting the possibility of miracles, of manifestation. So the unknown is actually this vast, abundant, infinite space that wants to match your energy and gift you the things that are in alignment with your desires. And that's where this energetic pull towards our future, this infinity symbol looping towards the front of our body is so important because it allows for us to turn on the magnetism of our body and our womb and to begin to interact with our future. And we interact with our future by letting go of the past, by getting clear on what we desire and taking those desires and turning them into foundational steps that we can take day to day with consistency and self-dedication out of being devoted to building the life that you desire. It is self-devotion. So if we take this infinity symbol now and we turn it and make it vertical, not necessarily looking at it overlapped on our body, but just if you were to imagine a vertical infinity symbol, the bottom loop of the infinity symbol is darkness, and the top loop of the infinity symbol is light. So when you are going through the death and rebirth portal, it is the bottom of the infinity symbol. It can feel dark, it can feel scary, it can feel like death, it can feel really unknown, really unsteady, really ungrounding, and we can face some of our deepest wounds and deepest shadows in this darkness. It's hard. This aspect of the death portal is hard. But if we continue to move forward through this tunnel of darkness, then where do we come? We start to loop up into the upper part of the infinity symbol, into the equal but opposite expression of that darkness, which is the light. The upper part of the infinity symbol is the light. And so we then get to experience the equal and opposite expression of the darkness that we have just moved through as light. And in that light is the manifestation, is the dream relationship, is the dream home, is the dream business, is all of the things that you're desiring. But in order to get to that light, in order to get to that higher version of reality and self, we have to move through the darkness, the dark night of the soul. And if we don't move through it, we get stuck there. And this is where chronic anxiety and depression happens, getting stuck in the darkness and becoming and beginning to identify with it, identifying with the darkness, saying that you are depressed, you are anxious, you are not these things, you are the experiencer of them, they are not you. But when they get stuck in you, they start to feel like you, and your identity begins to associate with them. So it's really important not to get stuck in this darkness, in this phase, because it's actually just a gateway into freedom. And that light expression is just on the other side. And there are so many powerful teachers that can help you move through to that light side. Because baby, this is an initiation. And initiations require faith. They require a major leap of faith. They require self-trust. They require self-love. The death and rebirth portal, it's a gift. It is a gift. And it invites you into facing your fears. And as I moved towards the end of my death portal, approaching November 5th, lo and behold, I was back in Guatemala, in the same town where everything went down 9 months before that. And the day that I was coming out of the death portal was November 5th, which was the very first day of my international women's retreat, the Shakti experience that I co-facilitated with my dear sister Lavina. And that was the commemoration of my rebirth. And getting to witness a dream that I've had for 10 years come into fruition, come into being, because I was so willing to die and die again in this death portal, that I witnessed myself emerge, reborn. And ever since then, I have just felt this major expansion in my body. And a few days after coming out of the death portal, we were working with ayahuasca in our women's retreat. And during the ceremony, I had this experience of feeling this cap of energy around my body, around my aura. It's as if I had been in this box the whole time. Oh my gosh, wow, it's actually coming through right now as I'm saying this. It's like I was in a womb. I was like in the placenta. There was like this sheath around me. And as I was moving through processing the energy of the death that I have been experiencing in the last 9 months, I felt this cap, this placenta energy pop. And it's as if I could suddenly expand my awareness and senses out for miles and miles and miles all around me. I felt like my light had just exploded. It was like a star being born. It was this massive explosion of light, and energy was just pouring out of me, and I could feel myself being reborn. And ayahuasca is the medicine, the plant medicine of death. It is the vine of death. And as the vine of death, it catapults you through rebirth of self. And as I was feeling my energy expand, I felt my light grow bright. And I came into this deep, deep inner knowing of, I am a medicine woman. I am a medicine woman. WOMBAN, baby, medicine woman. And I'm claiming this. I'm claiming this as a crown, as a title, because I have done the work to be where I am now, to claim this. The medicine woman who heals, who spends time with her pain to transmute it into power. The medicine woman who studies life through experience, through trusting herself, through trusting the universe. The medicine woman who exists in a multidimensional plane of reality, seeing how all things are perfectly designed by the universe. The medicine woman who's unafraid to be initiated, who takes a leap of faith, trusting that her wings will expand and carry her. And that's what the medicine really helped me anchor into as I came out of this death portal. And I really feel like I've merged with the next level me. And so wherever you are listening to this podcast, if you are going through it, baby, I feel you. I love you. You're not alone. You may be going through your own death portal. And if you are, I invite you to move through it with intention, to ask yourself the questions of what is pulling you back towards the past, what in your past is keeping you hooked, is keeping you tangled. Where is your energy? Where do you want to direct your focus? What are you desiring? What are you feeling? This is a space of feeling all of your emotions unapologetically. To feel it is to heal it. And if we resist it, it will persist. And if you are feeling the call to receive support as you move through the death and rebirth portal, I'm here. I'm here as a medicine woman, as a sister, as a guide, as a womb healer and a coach to support you in navigating this time and really intentionally deciding where you are going, how you are moving forward, and merging with the next level you. So send me a message either through Instagram at wombalchemy.love or an email at Sofiya, Sofiya, at wombalchemy.love, and let's connect. I'm here to support you. I've had mentors through every phase of initiation and growth of my life, and that is how I am where I am today. And so with this, I place my hands together, thumbs at my heart, and I bow down to you, beautiful being. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. Make sure to check out the show notes below for gifts, for links. Let's connect. Join me in my womb alchemy world, and let's play. Sending you and your womb big, big love. Mwah. Beautiful soul, thank you so much for tuning into this episode and playing in my womb alchemy world. If you vibe with the wisdom shared in today's episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about your empowerment journey. Come create some magic with me in my virtual womb temple by connecting with me on Instagram and TikTok at wombalchemy.love. If you're desiring sacred support and guidance on your womb empowerment journey, connect with me through the links below to learn more about my virtual womb temple courses, in-person sister ceremonies, acupuncture retreats, and womb coaching. New episodes are uploaded every Monday, and miracles are happening on a daily basis. Catch me in the next episode, sending you and your womb big love.